Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted
and opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.
Hey guys, DJ Qualls here, and I'm coming in hot. Welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded with DJ and Kelly.
We just went ham.
I'm your host, DJ Qualls, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Kelly Blackheart. Hey Kelly, how you doing?
I'm feeling vengeful.
We're fired up. We are fired up. So on the last podcast we're not going to go into this, but our last podcast we talked about, we've hired a marketing company to do some videos for us and help us with our marketing, and they basically delivered nothing or something that was awful and then nothing, and then couldn't figure out how to actually even play the ads on social media sites. And then I fired them and asked for the money back, and they've ghosted us, and phase 2 they're not going to like. So if you're listening to this, they never listen to our podcast. We're coming for you. But this gave us an idea. We were just on our Patreon talking, and we just had an idea that I would like to do a consumer advocacy program, part of our program, meaning if you've been fucked over by a business, a contractor, if somebody has taken money for a good or service from you and not delivered for you, and you've run into a dead end, contact us and let us know. We will evaluate it and then talk about it on the air.
Yeah. It might not be in our best interest to take sides unless we have all of the facts, because we are relying on people being honest with us about the
don't lie to
situations.
us.
Don't lie to us, because we are not here to ruin lives for people whose lives don't deserve to
But
be
we could
ruined.
call them and ask them for we could call the people.
You could say, what's your side of the story?
Yeah, exactly. Because we're going to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, who? And they're like, the guy from Road Trip. And they're like, click. But I think that, so I've had this idea for years. I had an idea as a TV show where I would go and personally investigate things. Because there was an episode of The Golden Girls where Rose gets a job for Enrique Mas, who was Miami's #1 consumer advocacy reporter. And so she was his assistant, and she was terrible at it. And there was one episode where I think she had to, I may be missing up episodes, she had to bring on some lesbians to be interviewed. No, that's not a consumer thing. That was when she worked at a talk show. She had to bring on some lesbians to be interviewed, and she brought, and this is how they introduced them. I'd like to introduce my guest today, Laura Tanner, interior designer, Jean Tierney, image consultant, Blanche Devereaux, lesbian. Sophia Petrillo, lesbian. Anyway, it was a good episode.
Like, how did we get there?
Anyway, I'm fired up. I like this idea.
Yeah, we also were talking about potentially doing, I mean, we've talked about this on numerous occasions about doing like a rewatch series on Patreon, but I was thinking even YouTube, where we watch, and last night we watched a little bit of Parks and Rec, and you were like, oh, I should rewatch this. And I was like, oh, maybe we should do that. But then we came to the conclusion it's got to be a reality show.
Yeah.
And so we were thinking possibly The Hills, because that was when you were coming up.
Yeah. And I know a lot of those
spending
people.
a lot of time in those
I saw those
clubs
people
and all
all
that
the
stuff.
time.
And
yeah.
I will always do a Hills rewatch.
Yeah.
So we're considering. But if you have other reality shows that you would want to see us do a rewatch of, email us at probablyloadedpod@gmail.com, because we are open to suggestions.
I was at an after-hours party at a bar called Xenu, and Audrina Patridge spilled the beans in 2007.
Literally?
Yeah.
Like there were beans and she spilled them.
She was making DJ's famous chili. She ordered him from Instacart.
It was a crazy time.
Yeah, a couple of my friends are friends with her. She seems nice.
She seems nice. She was very nice.
Yeah, I know.
And smart. And she was playing it. They were all playing characters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that we've talked about that before too. It's like at some point during a reality show, it starts off probably pretty genuine, and then you have to kind of play the role and add drama.
Because life isn't that interesting.
The new Real Housewives of New York, I just can't get into it.
I do not understand what's happening on that show. The thing is, I think that the biggest problem with the Real Housewives of New York is that the original cast, they were delusional and wealthy and didn't care how they were perceived.
Yes,
these people are mid-wealthy.
They're too aware
illusional.
of,
and they are aware that they don't want to come off as crazy.
There's nothing real happening because they don't want to be vulnerable.
They're not in the
showing
same
any
social
of,
circle
yeah.
the way the other women were.
Yeah.
Because those women were a member of they were in society.
Yeah. Like the niche for the Real Housewives franchises should always be out of touch rich women who we can talk shit, like not talk shit about, but like that we can make comments about how out of touch they are because they're not aware of the plight of the average person.
Yeah.
Like it is meant to be something where it's like, oh, they're not like us at all.
Yeah, like they go through a financial hardship and they're talking to they're doing a confessional and they're like, I need to find out where poor people buy their Rolexes because these are too expensive for me to afford anymore. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, it's like Erica Jane, who no longer lives in a mansion with Tom Girardi, and she's got a new place. She's like, it's tiny. It's like 4,000 square feet. You're like, okay, we have different versions of tiny. But
I don't know where anything is. It's too small.
No, hers is, I can find everything, and this is a problem. I can see everything I own.
In my other house, I looked for this pair of Chanel pumps for 6 years and didn't find them. Now I see them every fucking day.
They were in my chapel.
Oh, she did have a chapel.
Yeah. I do like Erica Jane. But
I love Erica Jane.
That's the
She's
thing.
delusional, though.
But that's the thing is like I sometimes I'll watch reality TV with people who don't understand the benefit of the villain, like and you just have to understand that the villain is so entirely necessary because when a bunch of people get along on a show, that is not interesting to watch. You need the person who stirs the pot. You need the person who is so insanely out of touch or who is a little bitchy or sharp tongued or whatever the hell it is.
I really wanted to like this new cast.
Me too.
Because the promos made them all look cool and fun, but they are boring as fuck. Jenna Lyons is like, I want to like her so
yeah, but
badly,
she won't talk about her personal life at all.
She's so vacant and trying to give you a sanitized version of her life, and she's not even. And she's a little judgy, but just be judgy then.
Yeah,
make your thing be who you are, but because it feels inauthentic and it feels guarded, it's boring as fuck.
The new season of Beverly Hills started last night.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
It's good.
Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
It's good.
I saved those up.
It actually kind of feels like maybe this season's going to be a banger. Dorit is coming in hot. Like, there's a scene where she's just fucking, like, speeding through the canyon, smoking a cigarette, being chased.
Which is illegal, by the way. You're not supposed to smoke in LA canyons.
In the canyon. But the fact that she's even shown on TV smoking a cigarette, she like lights up a Virginia Slim. I'm like, oh, Dorit is activated this season.
Is it a Virginia Slim? A Capri.
And she's like, PK's an alcoholic. I'm like, we're in. We're back, baby.
See, that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you, also it's what you signed up for.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And if you can't bring that, then give it to somebody who can. You know there's a ton of fucked up rich women doing this. Why don't you let me on that show?
I'm a mess.
I'm a mess.
I could do this.
Where are those Chanel pumps?
Or yeah, we could do a rewatch of The Real Housewives of Orange County.
So
those early seasons
I've given up on
nuts.
I've given up on every one of the Housewives franchises except I cannot watch Atlanta anymore, which I used to love. But New York and LA, Beverly Hills is my favorite. Also, it's because we live here.
Yeah.
And it's like
you're seeing things.
I'm seeing things that I know and restaurants that I've been that I go to. And I've had some casual interactions with like a couple of them at the upfronts. And the upfronts is when they bring all the talent from a network, NBC Universal, so anything like on USA, TNT, all of that stuff is under the same umbrella with the Housewives. And so like I sat beside Lisa Vanderpump, who doesn't talk to people the best.
I've met her.
She wasn't the nicest.
She's like best friends with Jim.
She wasn't the nicest person to the staff working the event. I will say that. And that's all I know. Maybe she was having a bad day. I'm not going to crap on her, but she certainly was very concerned about where her car was and wondering why all of these people who she's never seen before were getting their cars first. That could be a quote. But also then
it seems like a lot of poor people are driving away right now.
But
what's that about?
But then there are great surprises at these things. So what you do at the upfronts is that all the talent goes to New York and you entertain advertisers and try to get them to advertise on, like you go bowling with people that make Tampax, right? Like that kind of stuff.
Standard.
As you do. And
Could we get them to test the fucking tampons with blood instead of fucking water? Instead of bowling with them?
I didn't get that deep into it. I was just trying to get some ad dollars spent on our show. Anyway, so, but you get to meet people from other shows, and sometimes you see people screaming for their car, but then sometimes you meet lovely people. Khloe Kardashian was lovely to me. So the big finale presentation, they pull you into a giant like convention center hall, and we were lectured about data mining for 3 hours, and they told us to dress business casual. So I'm wearing a lightweight summer suit, and it is 9 degrees in there, and I am shivering, like freaking out cold, like that, right? And so she the Kardashians are right behind me. She taps me on the shoulder and says, "Baby, do you want this coat?" And I'm like, "No, thank you so much. It's so sweet." And then and she just takes it off and puts it on me.
She's like, just skinned.
She's
freshly skinned.
Wonderful. She's wonderful. And then I saw her in the parking lot of a bowling alley like a year later, and I'm like, so those kind of acts of kindness get loyalty from you forever, right? Like she could murder somebody. I'm like, well, she did give me that coat though. And so I saw her in a bowling alley, and I did this, and she was like this, "Hey, you remember me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I totally do. And I just didn't think you remembered me." And so I went over and hugged her, and it was great. And I was like, that is really awesome to be that sort of famous.
Yeah.
And that sort of normal.
Yeah. I've always heard that she was very kind.
Yeah, she's very kind.
Yeah. It's funny because Lisa and Jim became very good friends kind of randomly. And then Jim did her show. She had a show for a while where she would like bring guests over for dinner parties at her house.
Mm-hmm.
So
her front doors are like commercial front doors. They're like those glass front, like store doors.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a fucking farm at her house.
And like geese.
I
and
would
shit.
like to go to her house and see what it's like. But yeah, she came over to Jim's house for like a barbecue party or whatever. And
she normal?
Like, yeah. I mean, I didn't like sit and talk with her.
Did she ask where her car was?
I met her briefly. I think she probably parked her own car. Yeah.
Okay, Lisa Vanderpump, you've gone up in my estimation.
But yeah, they're just such an odd couple of friendship. But she's got a raunchy side of her sense of humor, so it
I'm
does
sure
make
that
a
she's
little
not.
bit sense.
I'm sure she, like anybody, is television personality, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Versus real personality.
I don't know really much about her. I'm not claiming that she's
amazing,
a sweetheart all the time or whatever. But that also feels like a famous person thing to gripe about. Is like, what the
Where
fuck?
is my car?
Why is the valet take? I fucking complained about the valet taking
Maybe
so
she
long.
had to get home and bottle feed some kittens that she rescued from a burning building.
That's probably true. Yeah, so celebrities, they're just not like us.
They're exactly. That's what always makes me laugh. That there used to be a thing in Us Weekly, like it was like somebody at the
Still
supermarket.
exists, yeah.
Their celebrities are just like us.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
And now it's funny because it used to be like tabloid pictures, but now they just pull pictures from people's Instagram, and it's like, look at this celebrity hanging out with their child. They're just like us. It's like they posted this themselves on their Instagram. It's what they want you to see.
Don't you see the background is wonky? It's completely photoshopped.
And that's what we use AI for, if you were wondering. Yeah, the Just Like Us, it's like, look, they're picking out an apple at the grocery store. And you're like, they don't go to the grocery store. They're on the set of a movie.
What's an apple?
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's child.
I've only ever seen them in slices. They come in whole apples.
Is that Jessica Alba?
Let's see.
She follows me.
I love Jessica.
Who's that below her?
That looks like the lady who wrote Girls.
Oh, wow.
Lena Dunham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She threw me off there.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's not from her Instagram.
That's an outfit. That's an outfit if I've ever seen one.
Who's the next one?
Countess Luann.
That is from her Instagram.
Oh.
She wrote the Instagram.
Well, you know what?
Oh,
I think
that's a choice.
I think it's refreshing that she's not concerned about how she's perceived.
Did you guys? Sorry, not to shift gears, but did you guys see the hottest men of the year stuff this year?
Is it James Krasowski?
John Krasinski.
Yeah,
it's
but
him.
I didn't look at the other ones. If you want to pull it up,
They did the whole cast of New Girl, all the guys from New Girl.
Oh, good.
So it's John by himself, and then the new guys.
The New
I'll
Girl
pull it up.
guys?
so they're also the
Wait,
sexiest
the
men
New
alive.
Girl?
It's a different magazine.
The New Girl or the New or Girls?
New Girl.
Oh, like
so like Jake Johnson, Max
I just saw a movie
Greenfield,
with Jake
Lamar
Johnson in
Morris.
it last night.
Oh, I love him.
He did a movie about a guy who wins the lottery, and no, did he win the lottery? No, that was the movie I saw with Nora from Queens. What's her real Aquafina?
Awkwafina?
Yeah, I'm confusing them.
You're confusing Jake
No,
Johnson and
I'm
Aquafina.
confusing the movies.
Okay.
No, one was in LA in like 20 years from now, the lottery gets up to 3.3 billion, and every lottery card has a tracker on it and has a thumbprint, and you have 24 hours after the person wins the lottery to kill them, and if you kill them, you can claim the prize.
Was it a good movie?
It was, it was good.
Oh, I think
is it John Cena?
Yeah.
He is awesome.
Yeah, he's a great
He's
actor.
a really good actor.
Yeah.
He follows me on, I think he follows everybody. He follows me on Twitter. But he is an amazing actor.
He's almost
natural.
everything he's
Oh my-
in is.
I don't think
he's
I've ever seen a movie
fantastic
with him
in.
before.
He's a great comedic actor. All of the comedies that he's in.
He is so
he does
dialed
so well.
in that when sometimes when I see an actor that good, it's like, what are you doing? What am I doing? Like, he's really that good.
Yeah, he's great.
No, the movie that I think it was also another lottery movie where it was a game where you had to stay alive for 30 days for $1 million.
Are these just dreams?
No, no, it was him and from Twilight.
Robert Pattinson?
No, Anna Robert Pattinson.
Taylor Lautner?
No, Anna Kirkner. What?
Oh, Anna Kendrick?
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
It was him and Anna Kendrick. What? I know these people's names. I'm just having one of those days. We drank a bag margarita before we got here, and everything's gone to shit since then. And John Cena is now the only light at the end of the tunnel. He's great.
No, he really is a fantastic actor. Ricky Stenicki, that had Andrew Santino.
Is that
in
good?
It. Yeah, it's
Because
fun.
I almost started watching it the other night, but I watched that movie with Aquafina instead.
No, it's a fun movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, like. There's a lot of those movies where you're like, you're not going to expect too much from them, but that was actually better than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be a lot more painful to get through. But Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed it.
It's what's his name? It's also what's his name, right, from High
Zac
School Musical.
Efron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to comment on his appearance. I just will say it is jarring to look one way for that long and to look so completely different like 2 hours later. We need transition.
Well, I think he had like an accident or something, right?
He had an accident, but
I never looked into it, but
he had an accident, but that also must have required him to have a lot of lip filler. So
maybe he gets stung by a bee every day.
it's every day on the exact same location. Here's what I'm saying. I am all for transformation, but when we rely on you as storytellers, ease us into it. Rub our back while you're doing it.
He was hospitalized after a swimming incident in Ibiza.
Yeah, I heard that.
He was released the following morning and was doing fine. Okay, so maybe it's not fucking. That was 2024. In 2019, he became ill while filming in Papua New Guinea and was airlifted to a hospital.
His chin bone was hanging off his face.
Oh. Ugh.
Yeah, in 2013 he broke his jaw.
Ooh.
But here's the thing.
I split my chin open. When
I did a deep dive, and I'm not going to talk about this on this show, but I did a deep dive, and plastic surgeons were weighing in. And the thing is, you can't really tell a narrative that's not completely true when thousands of people who have Instagram do this same job.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely not claiming that he didn't get plastic surgery. Everything I'd heard about it was just very surface level. So then you would see comments where people are like, stop being so fucking critical. He had an accident, and I never looked into it further.
Yeah.
I just knew that there was some sort of like.
I'm not saying that he didn't. What I'm saying is we rely on our storytellers for some continuity. That's what it really is. That's why actors get famous, is because we rely on you for continuity. And also now, because the market is so crowded with streaming, like when you're just flipping through, you give everything exactly 12 seconds to grab your attention.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a little benefit from that from casting recently. Because if you're going to do a movie for $84 and you can get me for 12, you'll be like, I'll give you 2 scenes in this so somebody can recognize somebody in it. And I look just like I used to, for good, bad, or worse, different. I haven't changed much.
I saw an interesting theory recently that was talking about with like the advent of Ozempic and like thinness being somewhat attainable for people now.
Is that why I'm not working anymore? Because I'm no longer a novelty?
Well, I mean, okay, so like really when you think about it, there's like a beauty standard that is set by rich people that is meant to be unattainable, right?
Yeah.
So like back in the old days, if you were plump, you were seen, that was the ideal body type because it meant you could afford food and all of that stuff. And then we get to this point where the only way you can afford to really be thin and in shape and all that stuff was either, you know, obviously genetics, but if you have time to work out and you have money to eat healthy and all of these things.
And
but
also, if you were pale, it means that you didn't go outside to work.
Yep.
And then it became, if tanned, it means that you didn't have to work because you had time to go outside and tan.
And so now you've got Ozempic that is it's more accessible to the general population. And so there's now theories about like what the next shift in being seen as super attractive is going to be.
Rich people are surrounded by thin people who are poor doing this. Ew.
yeah.
This is gross.
Because even you think about when like fillers became really popular, and now that regular people are getting fillers and making their faces look like celebrities are getting their fillers dissolved and stuff like that.
I'm keeping my fillers.
BBLs and all of that stuff.
What's a BBL?
Brazilian butt lift. But like Kim Kardashian got hers taken out and all that stuff. It's like, so now she's in a much svelter figure as opposed to the big ass. And it's really fucking, I never really thought about how they were changing like that. Obviously I knew that body types and the ideal body type changed all the time, but I never like really equated it to being like, no, this is our thing. And as soon as the plebs
I never thought about that. Will you tell me what to do? Because you read this shit. I'm still I'm still doing thin and fucking filler.
Yeah,
what am I, 1900s?
They're speculating that the new thing will just be like obviously staying thin but really muscular, and so it's like defined abs, like Pilates fucking arms and all of that stuff, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds hard.
Yeah. So basically for anybody who is trying to keep up with the trends in terms of what your body looks like, fuck it. Unless you're rich, you're never going to be part of that conversation anyway, so just live in whatever body makes you feel happy.
Will you wake me up when the trend is having a torso that's like Play-Doh?
Yeah.
And everybody's...
I could pitch that for the next one.
Everybody's laying down
torso
while watching
like
television.
Play-Doh. Hold on, I'm sending an email to the king. Yeah, can we bring back chunky?
I don't want to be chunky because I don't have that capacity, so I would be left out of that. But I definitely have the capacity to have to be skinny fat. I want skinny fat to come in.
Yeah, skinny fat.
Yeah, skinny fat.
Yeah.
I can't not gain weight on any part of my body but my stomach.
Yeah.
I've tried.
Well, you could get filler all through your legs and arms.
Get that BBL, son.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Yeah, we should do that on the Patreon. DJ gets a BBL. Although BBLs are like so fucking incredibly dangerous.
It is dangerous.
It's surprising
I saw
to me
something
that
on
people...
television that somebody was injecting like some sort of
cement
into their ass in New Jersey.
Yeah, a BBL I think it's considered the most dangerous elective plastic surgery that you can possibly get. Oh yeah, what makes Brazilian butt lift so deadly?
It's the most dangerous aesthetic procedure ever performed.
I don't think you should do that.
No.
First of all, they're out of style, and second of all, they are not good for you.
You shouldn't be able to see your butt from the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just as interesting to chase all of these things because we know that, like fashion, everything is cyclical. Like,
and that's permanent.
Yeah.
And celebrities have enough money to undo it.
Well, and also, so many surgeries are botched. I just saw a TikTok podcast clip from these girls who were on, I think, like Love Island UK or whatever, and I really appreciated their vulnerability and honesty in their stories because they had talked about how they had gone down this slippery slope of plastic surgery because it really comes down to, like, if you hate yourself so much, you have to work on the self-love before you do anything, whether it's just attempting to lose weight naturally or whatever.
But the quick fix is going right
the
to the-
goalpost will always change, but they had talked about how you start off with liposuction or a boob job or something like that,
And then you get those
this,
chiclet
and
veneers.
it gets kind of botched, and so you have somebody go and fix
Yeah.
it, and then now you're like, oh well, now my waist is not proportional to my arms, and so I'm getting my arms done, and I'm getting my fucking nose done, and all of these things, and they were talking about how much money they had spent and how many surgeries they had, and you could just see the pain in their eyes because they're like, I've looked back at old pictures of myself before I did anything, and I'm like, what was wrong with that?
But
There
they're
was nothing wrong
also
with
in a
that girl.
society. So reality stars, if you get famous from reality shows in England, and that fame lasts.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Big Brother and get famous on Big Brother, you are like legitimately famous. It doesn't have that sort of connotation that
It depends on the show.
Yeah, but like they get major famous. I mean, when I lived in the UK, you could literally go on Big Brother and come out a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
And mainstream fame. And they are in this coterie of people who, like, the Geordie Shore, and there's another one called, I think, Made in Chelsea, and
The Only Way is
The
Essex.
Only Way is Essex.
Yeah.
And they all look the same. They all go to Turkey and get those great huge veneers, giant lips, and you have to wonder what it's like when that fame fades and you're just sitting around.
Yeah, that's
permanent.
truly the biggest bummer when it comes to plastics, like people getting really, really invested in plastic surgery. Ultimately, I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want with your own body.
course.
But what sucks is that everybody looks the same.
But also, the more you do of it, the harder it is to undo.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen terrible things as a result of plastic surgery. Even people like in mainstream Hollywood who clearly have facial dysmorphia. Like, I'll see them on a carpet or in person, and you can tell that they've got lumps in their filler. And like, how can you not see this? Like, because you are so invested, and it has to work.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing is like
The fear of aging here is profound.
Yeah. And
I have
I mean, you also can't ever fucking win, especially, I think we've talked about this before, especially as a woman, you're either too fat or you're too thin.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm always like, why fucking bother trying to change anything? Because it doesn't fucking matter. People will talk, like, especially if you're in the spot, like all these male celebrity lookalike contests that have happened. The Timothy Chalamet,
Yeah.
they just did one with Jeremy Allen White, blah, blah, blah. So apparently there's going to be a Zendaya one in San Francisco. And it's like, we're about to see real quick what society does to women who think that they're attractive versus how they treat men
When
who think
people
they're
shitting
attractive.
on
It's gonna be, bitch. You thought you fucking
you're ugly,
are you
you're fat.
Yeah, we're treated very differently. If you even like just on TikTok, there's some people I follow where a girl will call themselves pretty. And it's the comments all trying to humble her. And
I've
it's like,
seen this.
why would I not say that I'm pretty? Like, that's disingenuous if I don't say that, because literally my entire life I've had men coming up to me going like, you're pretty, I want to do this stuff for you. And
Yeah.
the second that you accept that as
You
truth
acknowledge it.
and you acknowledge it, people are like, bitch,
Tear you down.
you're a 5 at best.
Yeah.
Mid.
Well, it's so interesting
What's
because
wrong with you people?
I've seen recently, I think like yesterday, I was looking through Instagram and saw this guy. I was like, yeah, I'm a handsome guy. And everybody was, but it was to the point where I was like, right? But I expected the comments to tear him down. And it was
we
like,
don't do that
oh
to
my
men.
God, I want to fuck you. You're great. And I was like, that's so interesting. And I know in my logical mind that I'm aware of the disparity, especially in Hollywood with men and women, male and female actors. I am now of an age where the ingenues that I came up with are now in their 40s. And to watch the absence of them when I know they're still trying to get roles that tells me everything. But recently I was at an event and I was talking just, how casting in Hollywood has changed and how, we have to self-tape now. So we have to be a lighting engineer and an editor, and it's not organic. And auditions were never organic, but it's changed, and I don't really participate in it as much because I often feel the tapes aren't being looked at. I feel that if I'm giving my time and energy to something, the director should be there because he should be taking this seriously.
Yeah.
And so I just got an email from my agency yesterday. It's like, why did you not respond to this material? Why did you miss the deadline for this? This was a good show.
Like Brandon was supposed to respond.
I know. And it kind of, I don't think they're going to drop me, but it made me nervous. But the thing is, I have 900 things going on right now. The end of the year is very busy to me, and I don't know how to explain this. Like, I couldn't take 3 hours of my time to learn this, because you have to learn the script, and then 2 hours to try to get a good tape.
Yeah.
That's 5 hours that I'm going to donate to something that probably will never come to fruition. And also the lead actor, I don't think is a very good actor, and I don't want to shit on an actor in an email. But anyway, so I was talking about that sort of with actors at a show I was at recently in Pennsylvania, and Vanessa Shaw was there. She was in Hocus Pocus, and a lot
daughter?
of and she's good friends with Amy Smart and Ali Larter, and that was sort of my generation of actor. And so I was just saying that, and then she wasn't a part of the conversation, and just across the room she said, "I mean, now imagine being a woman," and I was like, "I know, I can't." It makes all of the things that I'm griping about, because you can be in your mid to late hundreds, but the woman they cast opposite you has to be under 35.
Yeah. It's wild.
That's her. That's Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa. I like you.
I like you. She was in Ladybugs.
Yeah, she's cool as hell.
That was a classic. Although it doesn't really hold up that well as an adult.
Well, a lot of the things that you
I know.
like,
I know. It's just so funny, all of these things that
Can't
were
Buy
like
Me Love
classic
does.
kids movies.
Can't Buy Me Love does. Overboard does. But several things like Heathers didn't really hold up for me, and which broke my heart. I saw it as an adult, and I didn't like it. I've seen it hundreds of times when I was a teenager, and now it doesn't really hold up for me much as an adult. The acting is pretty rough.
Yeah. That's why most of the time when people tell me about their favorite movie from childhood, if I haven't seen it, I just won't watch it.
So
'cause
also,
I don't want to.
I made the mistake of doing that, though. I watched Heathers with somebody trying to show it to them, and they were looking at it with today's
mad at
eyes,
you.
and I was mad at them.
Oh, you were like, why don't you love
Yeah,
this?
exactly. How could you not love this? And then I was watching it through their eyes, and they were dead. And I was watching it through their eyes, and I was like, "Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right."
Yeah, there's so much nostalgia attached to the things that we love that there's no way to artificially
Yeah, you
get
can't
that.
give
You
somebody
can't give that to somebody. So
I mean, everything that you watch, you're dragging all your shit behind you. It's where you are at that moment in your life, what you've experienced before that. And watching things in an adult, you've seen some things by then. And something that was entertaining to a 12-year-old may not be entertaining
did I tell the story
unless
about
you're Matt Gates.
Did I tell the story about when I went to Cinespia? I don't know how they pronounce
What's
it.
Cinespasa?
Cinespasa. It's the movie night in the cemetery.
Oh, I've always wanted to do that. The one at
We should
Hollywood
do that
Forever
next. Yeah,
Cemetery.
we should do that next year. But the one I went to,
Is it crowded?
Yeah, but you go and you like set up a little picnic or whatever. The one that I went to, it was a 3 movie night. So
Where do
we
you
spent
park?
all night. I don't remember. There's a parking lot.
There
and
is.
stuff like that.
Like a
But
paid
we would
parking
just Uber probably.
Yeah, let's
Or-
just Uber. It's too hard.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But it's really fun. They do. They
on my
they
glasses.
project the movie up on the mausoleum.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
But the one that I went to, so it was 3 movies, and it was like a Halloween. It was near Halloween.
Was it they scary movies?
I
would love
maybe
to watch a
actually, maybe
scary
actually
movie
it
in a
wasn't near
graveyard.
Halloween. It was Legend,
Oh,
Labyrinth,
Legend with
and
Tom
The
Cruise?
Never-Ending Story.
And Tim Curry?
Yeah,
And Mia Saro or Mia
I don't know.
Hamm?
Mia Hamm. Yes, it was Mia Hamm. This was before her
I
soccer career.
loved that movie.
Wait,
No, It's Legend with Tom Cruise.
yeah, like it's from the fucking 80s or
Yeah.
whatever.
Not the fucking 80s. The 80s were awesome. I wasn't alive then, but I heard they were awesome.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, Mia Sara. I was close.
So I had never seen
it's
any of
good.
them, and I was sitting, I was with my friends or whatever, and some of these movies are so fucking ridiculous to watch for the first time as an adult, especially if you're drinking alcohol and like,
Oh, right.
I probably had an edible or whatever. And so I was just like making little commentary or whatever. And the people in front of us turn around and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I forgot I'm not here by myself. And they go, no, please don't stop. We're all on mushrooms and you are fucking killing us.
You're the only thing that's real to us right now.
Because like during Neverending Story, I just kept repeating.
I've never seen that.
Okay, so Falcor is like this giant, the giant white
that
dragon
thing
or
that-
whatever.
yeah.
But at one point he goes, I like little boys. And I was like, oh, Falcor's a pedophile? And they turn around and they're just like dying laughing. So I made friends with all these people on mushrooms. And
So it was-
that's where I That's where I got the Nicolas Cage pillow that I have that I bring everywhere. They left it there, and I had grabbed it because I had become friends with them on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I got your pillow if you ever want it back. But they lived in like Santa Monica, and it was just like we were never gonna cross paths again. And now that's my favorite pillow of all time. And it says, despite all my rage, I am still just Nicolas Cage.
You have the pillow, and then one day they send you a text going, have you seen John? We lost him. He ran screaming into the night after you said that whole he likes small boys thing.
But it was just like I was just making little comments where it's like Labyrinth is also another fucking crazy one to see.
So
as
is
an
it
adult.
Labyrinth, Legend, and
The Neverending Story?
Oh my God, that would blow my mind.
Yeah, it was
I've
a good
seen
night.
2 of them, but I've never seen A Neverending Story.
Yeah,
That's the watch part. That's the watch party we should do for Patreon. Because you've never seen it?
I don't like precocious children. Like, you know what I mean? Like kids who know too much for their age. I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not
a lot
a
of
fan
that
of those either.
Is he a wisecracking little boy?
I barely remember it. I just remember Falcor being a pedophile.
Like, unless he dies at the end.
I think he does.
Does he die at the end?
I can't remember. The horse dies.
The horse, the big furry dragon thing?
No, there's
Do you want to watch the trailer?
Yeah, let's watch the trailer. I know nothing about this movie.
I really can't even remember the storyline.
I don't really, what year did it come out?
84.
Oh yeah, I was too young to see that then. Don't you laugh at that.
No, I was agreeing with you.
We just watched the trailer to Neverending Story. I've never seen it. I know nothing about it. Now I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, but next year for sure we have to go to the Hollywood
They'll probably
Cemetery
be
to do
showing
movies.
different movies.
No,
though,
for
right?
sure. But I'm just saying we should go and
What
experience
movies do you think
that.
they'll be showing?
I don't know.
Yes.
I'll look up the calendar right now.
Yeah, they
Oh,
might-
does
they-
it
they may
tell
already
you right
have.
now?
I don't know if they announce them this early because the season just
Is
ended.
it in the fall?
It's usually summer to early fall.
We have to go next year.
Yeah, and it's cool because they have like, for instance, at that one they have like not photo booth, but like they've got photo situations set up. So like we all took pictures with like the horse and all that
Okay.
stuff. So like there are a bunch of, I think they have vendors that are selling food and stuff like that, if I remember correctly.
So I'm right now doing my calendar for next year. I have all my appearances laid out. I have, things that I have to make like birthdays. I have all of that in my calendar. And one of the things that I'm doing on Mother's Day is something called the Mother's Ruin Challenge.
Oh, yeah, you were
And
telling
I'm
me about
so
that.
excited about this Mother's Ruin Challenge. Me and Ty are doing it with our friends Brandon and Ina. Hey, Brandon and Ina. They live in Nashville. So Mother's Ruin is a series of bars, and they have them in Nashville, New York City, Chicago, and I think there's one in Austin now. The Austin is opening on Mother's Day. So the Mother's Ruin Challenge is you have to hit 3 of those bars in one day. So you start in New York, then you fly to Chicago, and then you fly to Austin, and you have to order a drink at each one of these places. And at the end of it, it's in one day. And at the end of it, you get a tattoo, a little scroll tattoo that says Mother's Ruin. And then every day for the rest of your life, as long as the bar is open, you get a free cocktail.
Okay, so when you get the tattoo, I'm just gonna get the same
I
tattoo.
can't wait.
You were just talking about how many free airline miles you got.
I know.
You should totally do it.
We're doing it. It's in my calendar, listed along with my most cherished important events that I have to. So April something, I'm going to Vegas to marry Danny and Carly, 2 British people that I met at a convention, and I'm going to dress like the Pope. And then and then April 25th through the 27th, I'm in Minneapolis. But on May 11th, it's the Mother's Ruin Challenge, and me and Ty and Brandon and Ina are doing it. I think we're going to start in New York, then go to Chicago. No, we have to end in Austin. No, we have to start in Austin. We're going to go to Austin, then to New York, and then to Nashville, because I think they live in Nashville. But it's exciting.
You skip Chicago?
And you are. Yeah, I know. I want to go to Chicago, but I think we're gonna cut it out. But what's cool about it is, it's like in the 80s there was a movie called Cannonball Run, and it really was just a bunch of people, a bunch of idiots from different walks of life, like some nuns, and nuns aren't idiots, but you know what I mean. Like it was just like a bunch of people competing
Debatable.
for a big cash prize. And it was like you get there any which way you can race across the country. And the cool thing about this is like you're subjected to flight delays and all this. It's planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
You just have to get there and get your passport stamped at each one of these. I'm excited. It's going to be a good time. And I invite anybody who wants to do the Mother's Ruin Challenge out there to do it. And I'm sure I'll be social mediaing it as I do it. Like like live Instagramming it or whatever the words are that I'll learn by then. And you do it too.
That's debatable.
And we can cross streams.
And then when you get your tattoo, I will just get the same tattoo. And then next time we go to the bar.
You can't. It doesn't work like that
How?
because they issue you a card, like a microchipped card.
It's microchipped?
Yeah.
God. They're
Yeah.
fucking serious. Well, it's just one cocktail.
Well,
right?
it's a one cocktail for the rest of your life, though. I mean, granted, I don't live near
Yeah,
one, but if they open one in Los Angeles, I could move next door to it.
That's true. You could buy a new house.
Yeah, that would be so much cheaper than paying for alcohol at these prices. Yeah, it's really exciting stuff. Where the hell are my glasses?
Have you not been wearing them this whole
No,
time?
every time I have to put on these sunglasses, these prescription sunglasses, every time I want to fucking see anything. Okay, there you are. Oh, well, you got old.
Do you know the meaning behind the name?
Mother's Ruin, I don't. You want to tell us?
Gin joints allowed women to drink alongside men for the first time, and it's thought that this led many women to neglecting their children and turning into prostitution.
Shit.
Which they were correct.
No.
kidding.
Alcohol never hurt anybody,
No.
except the
for
people that
Pete.
it did.
Just kidding.
Oh. It's exciting. Wait, is there one in England?
This is the website to the UK one.
Oh. I thought it said bathhouse. I was like, okay, we're going to a different direction than I thought. It says rat house. If these were international, that would make it so much more fun.
Harder to do in one day, though.
I mean, if you could go to the ones and get free drinks there. I've never been to Bristol, UK, but I'd go there if there was a cocktail. I would swim to
It
Japan.
takes so very little.
I would
for you
swim to Japan based on the rumor that they had a cocktail. This is exciting stuff. I should do research about the stuff that I plan to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But also, it's more fun to just
Yeah, I
kind
don't
of fly
like
by the
I
seat
don't
of your
like
pants.
knowing things. Do you? I mean, like I like to know things that I need to know, but like things I don't need to know, like
I'm not a big planner.
Yeah, me
like,
neither.
When it comes to traveling and stuff like that, generally the way I'll do it is pick 2 or 3 things that are like must-see things for me. But other than
Yeah.
that, the days are just what do we feel like doing.
So my New York crew, Abdul, Golfo, and sometimes Theo, we usually meet somewhere in the world a couple times a year for 2 weeks. We know where we're flying into and where we're staying the first night and know where we're flying out of. And then we organize everything on site. We get there and like, what do you want to do tomorrow? I don't know. Let's go to Vienna. And so we'll find out how we're getting to Vienna and go to Vienna the next day. Mm-hmm. And I like this kind of travel because it allows you to be like, you know what? We've done everything here. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we know that we did one year where we started in Prague, and then we drove from Prague to Vienna, Vienna to Salzburg, Salzburg to Venice, and then drove to Milan. And it was a great trip. Our rental car, we found out wasn't registered to us, and then when we tried to return it, they wouldn't take it, so we just had to abandon it. Like
Jesus
this
Christ.
shit happens on the road.
They wouldn't take it back.
They wouldn't take it back. They said you have to drive this back to the origination destination. We're like, well, we're not doing
Like,
that.
I promise if you don't take it, it's not getting back to the origination destination. Especially since you just told us it's not registered
but also,
to us.
Italians handle everything like this. They just shrug with their hands in the air. I can't do anything about that. It's like, well, there's a car registered to your company that we are not taking on the plane with us back home. And we're certainly not driving this bitch 2,000 miles back up to Prague. And also, it's not registered to us, so you can't even legally hold us responsible
But
for
you
it.
know that they listen to this.
This is the #1 podcast for Italian people who own car rental companies.
For shrugging Italians.
Yeah, for shrugging Italians. We would love to be the podcast of shrugging Italians. Have
Yeah.
you ever tried to drive in Italy? I have. On one of these road trips, we did a road trip across Italy, and we had to go to a wedding. And so Abdul has this thing where the first thing, we went to get a rental car, and Abdul has this thing, and I think it may be an Arab male thing because I've seen his friends also do this. The first thing that is offered to you is absolutely not. What do you have that's better? So we wait. He throws away a perfectly good rental car in Rome. It takes us like 4 hours to get another rental car, which is 5 times shittier, is a stick that nobody can drive. The clutch was poppy. We all could drive it, but it was hard to drive. It was cramped. We are 7 hours late to this wedding because we greatly misjudged the distance. We get there after it. I don't know these people, and we show up and they're like this. Can we come to your party? Oh, hello! You're so wonderful. Come here. We all stink. We've been on the road for hours and hours and hours because Abdul had to turn down our rental car.
Fucking Abdul.
Yeah, I fined him €1,000 once in Paris because he wouldn't let us book a hotel because he's a hotelier and he wants to pick all the hotels. And I found a perfectly good hotel during Fashion Week for $120 a night. And he was like, no, throw it away. Bring me another, right? We wound up getting, on the last day, I'm like, we have to, like, they were like, you have to tell us about a night. And so the next morning, he's like, fine, book it. And they're like, sorry, we're booked up. And so we had to go around like fucking Les Mis begging people to stay at their inns. He finds a place that won't let us see the rooms. I go to the Louvre. He takes all of our stuff and says it's wonderful. And then he goes on a Tinder date with an 87-year-old woman to get away from me. It was the first person that said yes, so he had an excuse not to be there when I got there. I sent him a video that did this. What the fuck, Abdul? This is like a prison. It stinks. And then one night he had my charger cable and I knocked on his door to get it. And because he was like this, no, he's gaslighting me. He's like, no, it's fine. I love it here. It's a great hotel. You're out of your mind. You're just being a diva or something. And I went to get my charger cable and knocked on his door and I thought he had died. Because it was like 2:00 in the morning. He wouldn't answer. It had security and all of this shit was gone. He had never stayed there. He was staying at a €500 a night hotel down the street. So I lay in wait for him because he was coming there every day pretending like he was staying there.
That's some sinister shit. Right
So I fined him €1,000 and he paid it. And I went to Louis Vuitton. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Abdul, I love you.
Somebody's banging loud outside.
Abdul, I'll finish this by saying, Abdul, I love you. I love your trips. I do not want you to think I'm talking bad about you because he could.
But you're not allowed to plan things anymore.
Well, I like it when he plans things. I like chaos. We're doing a trip in March. We're starting in Bangkok, going to what's that island? Phuket, and then to Dubai, and then to Riyadh.
I want to go.
We will not be driving.
All right, guys, you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/loadedpod. Follow us on social media @loadedpod. Send us an email. Oh, we didn't even do any advice this episode. That's fine. We'll do it next week. But you can send us an email, probablyloadedpod@gmail.com, or you can call us 323-272-3908. Do you guys want to do the song?
323-272-3908. Brandon, you better contact us or bad things are going to happen.
I'm gonna eat your ass.
I'm going to eat your ass, Brandon.
Again.
Hey, guys.
Isaac's like, how many times do I have to eat his ass?
Do I get to, have to eat it?
You can floss between. Hey, guys. Welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded After Party here at the Patreon.
And the after party.
I'm your host, DJ Qualls. I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Kelly Blackheart. Hey, Kelly.
No.
So it's funny that you say that. Somebody once did this. We were at a party and like, what's one thing that nobody knows about you? And everybody's telling things, and they got to me and I just did this. Shut up. That I'm not very nice in person.
I don't even know if I could come up with something. I feel like I'm such an open book that I don't think I have any secret that at least a few people don't know.
If you make eye contact with me, you know what my tan looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know my social security number.
Yeah.
My last 5 transactions on my Amex card. You know things.
I do not know how to be mysterious in the slightest. It doesn't even really behoove. Like when people talk about, I'm sure that there are situations where it probably would have been better to not give your secrets to somebody or whatever, because people can, I guess, use it against you. But I don't even know
what those words mean.
Yeah.
People are like this. I just kept my mouth shut. And I'm like, what does that mean?
You were sleeping?
I just kept my opinions to myself. Were you in a coma?
Why, did they drug you?
I don't know any of those words. Hey.
If you don't want to know my thoughts, don't invite me somewhere.
If you don't want to know my thoughts, steer clear of me.
Yeah.
Don't encounter me randomly.
It's
at
actually
the
your
supermarket.
fault if I fucking tell you all my secrets, because you said hello.
You knew I had to go to the supermarket one day, and you would also be here. Steer clear of me.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way that, maybe it's because I feel like when I'm quiet or not speaking up on things, I feel very misunderstood. But
People think you're a whore.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people think that I'm a bitch because I
Everybody thinks you're a bitch.
resting bitch face.
You do
for
have
sure.
resting bitch
I
face.
know. I really do. But also,
You have it now.
I know. It's just my
Even
face.
when you're smiling.
It's just my face, okay? But even people in my life, in the moments where if I'm super tired and I'm not being talkative or jovial or whatever, they just automatically assume that I'm in a bad mood. I'm like, no, I don't.
But then when they do this, smile.
I know. Yeah. that's
At least
annoying.
act like you're having fun. Then you want to kill them.
Yeah, then I am in a bad mood.
Yeah, I think I talked about that
There,
on a podcast
there have been
once.
times where, like, I went to Vegas with some friends in college, and most of my friends are, at least those friends that I went with, are pretty shy. And we had met this group of guys and ended up going out to like late night dinner with them. So it's like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm leading the conversation because that I know my friends, right? And I know that they're not going to fucking speak up. And this guy was like, you talk a lot or something like that. And I go, oh, that's my bad. I won't talk anymore. And all my friends just start looking at me like I'm just being quiet the rest of the time. They're like, say something. Kelly, say something. I'm like, no, I don't want to ruin his meal.
Fuck that guy.
And
Was he with you?
it was just like a group of guys that
Oh.
we met or whatever. And he learned very quickly that if I wasn't steering the conversation, that we were all going to sit there and stare at our plates. And I let him suffer
Have that.
through that. You know what? If you don't want me to entertain you, I
won't.
yeah, it's like, that's the thing too. Is
You're not paying for this.
half of the time I don't even enjoy having to lead the conversation or entertain people, but I just know how miserable it will be if I don't step up and take the lead on things.
I just will excuse myself from that situation. I'm like, bye guys, I'm going to play some slots. Good luck.
Good luck. Bye.
If somebody had the audacity to be like, God, you talk a lot, I'd be like this. Okay, I'm leaving.
Which I did. I checked
Not
out
at
of the
these
conversation.
prices.
It was actually more fun to watch it be awkward for everybody.
Isaac, you keep drawing my eyes with this Mother's Ruin thing. I'm really excited about this. What you go back to where you just were.
I was looking up all this stuff and I found out all this information, and then it turns out it was the rules for 2023
Yeah, but I think the rules are probably pretty similar.
because it's
The only one about this one that's a hard and fast rule is that you have to visit Austin because it's opening.
Oh, is that the new thing for 2025?
So
I couldn't find
2025 is that you have to go. Did you go to the Mother's Ruin website?
Do you have to pay for the
They
tattoo?
all have their own
'Cause that
individual
one says,
websites.
complete the challenge. You'll receive a gold card good for one free beer a day for life.
No, it's a cocktail.
Where do you see
with the
that?
That's on the second link.
No, if you do the challenge, you get a beer. If you get the tattoo and at the
It
challenge,
literally says
you
right
get a
there, complete
cocktail.
the challenge and you'll receive a gold card good for one free beer
complete
a day.
Complete the challenge. If you get the challenge with the tattoo, it's a cocktail.
yeah. You just keep reading.
Oh, I was only reading what was up on the
Yeah,
screen.
but I was just telling you the rules.
Complete the challenge and get our logo tattooed anywhere on your body and receive a black card good for one free cocktail a day for life.
That's what I'm doing.
Because I was only trying to read it out to be like, wait a second, this isn't going to work
Yeah,
for
but I
you.
was-
'cause
yeah,
you
when
have
I
to-
first read it, I was like, you don't like
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah, but I was telling you the reason why that was wrong because
Yeah.
I know these rules.
I understand.
I'm getting this. The tattoo can be any size, and I'm gonna get one about that big on the back of my leg.
And that's the logo, the Mother's Ruin.
The little scroll thing. I'm gonna get it probably behind my knee.
Your butt
'Cause
crack.
without, I mean, this is
Yeah,
the
that's-
2023 map, right?
Well, I
So
want people to see it, so of course I'm getting my butt crack.
Yeah.
without Austin, it seems pretty easy. You start in New York, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the earliest time zone.
So you start in New York, go to Chicago, but I think we're gonna do New York because it's earliest. Then we're gonna start in Austin. No, we're gonna start in New York, then go to Austin, then go to Nashville.
The other school of thought, though, is that the New York one stays open till 4 a.m., even though it's an hour.
Yeah, but they want to finish it in Nashville because they live there.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they live in the same neighborhood as Mother's Ruin.
Oh.
Yeah. They need to get one in Los Angeles.
That'd be a
Hey,
lot
Mother's
easier.
Ruin Challenge. If you subscribe to our Patreon, can you open a
Why don't you just open the bar?
Oh, that's a great idea. You would
it's
be
way
such
over
a good
there.
bar owner.
I do want to own a bar.
Yeah.
That is so that's what I want to do with the last days of my life, and I'm owning a bar will, I'm sure, bring that back pretty quick. No, but here's the thing. I've been close to buying into a couple of bars, and I think when it's not relaxing to be there as a patron because you're like looking at sales and what everybody's doing. And I would never like to buy into a bar that I go to because I don't want to be at work when I'm drinking.
And like having fun, yeah.
Yeah, because like my friend owns Vic's Kangaroo Cafe in New Orleans, and it's his job. like it's his business, and so you don't see Vic down there getting hammered with the locals.
Yeah, you would want to own a bar in Vancouver where you could be away from it or something,
Yeah.
like somewhere that's you don't have to worry about popping in.
Yeah, or
and,
it could be over the hill in Hollywood because I'm not coming over here.
we don't go over there.
It's so far.
We don't go there no more.
Yeah, but everybody who owns a bar loves to tell you how bad it is to own a bar, but then you'll find out that other person has bought yet another bar, and it's like, is it because you don't want anybody else doing this? Like, I think a lot of bartenders have been like that. Like, during the pandemic, I bartended for free at one of my friends' places because everybody was out on unemployment, and she had the balls to say to me, on my first shift, where I'm working for free and donating my tips back to the house, nobody wants to hire a one-armed bartender because I poured the alcohol and then put it down and then picked up the gun and I'm like, I've made 3 drinks professionally. This is drink number 3. Lay off me.
It's hard to find good help.
I didn't realize I had to do flare bartending on the fucking first shift.
You were supposed to spit out fire and do all that stuff.
Why is your shirt on?
Yeah, I could see you owning a bar.
Yeah, I would love that. That's career goals right there. Fuck acting.
Can you own a bar that also does food, and then we can do my appetapas?
Yeah,
idea.
If it's in Canada, I think in Vancouver it has to serve food. I think in New Orleans too, all bars have to serve food.
Oh.
Yeah, it may be a jar of pickles, pig's feet, or pickled eggs.
I just fucking need a restaurant that does.
Yeah.
What's appetapas?
It's just tapas, but it's like all appetizer food and stuff like that. So basically, you could turn everything into a fucking triple dipper. That anything on the menu, it's like I will never finish a meal of food.
Yeah,
it's not possible.
I
for
haven't
me.
ordered an entree in years.
I only
get
eating
appetizers.
one bite of 6 different
Yeah.
flavors.
When we go out to eat, we order like 6 or 7 things and just graze on them.
And so to make that more accessible, because really the only way to do it now is order full size appetizer, but you're already like after 3 bites of something, I'm like,
over it.
I don't want that
Yeah.
anymore. So just doing small plates of
We have to
little
find a
appetizer
way
foods.
to do that though, because as somebody who's worked in restaurants before, the biggest thing is the cost of the actual making of the dish. So you know what I mean? So like I need all the supplies for this and all the supplies for this. So usually when people are ordering that, you're going to use that up. But if they're ordering this much of it, that's a lot of different things that you have to buy. Like if you know what I mean? Instead of buying just cheese curds, you have to have cheese curds and onion rings and
you
this.
just make
and
it
that.
like Taco Bell, where it's all the same
The same
ingredients, just in different
recombined.
shapes. Yeah.
So do you get appetizer samplers wherever you go? Do you get like?
I mean, I usually don't like the samplers because the samplers, they only let you put certain foods on them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like so. The
I want a side of
appetizers
queso.
that I do want are not available to put in those
Yeah.
things. So it's like, queso,
You can have one egg
pretzel
roll.
bites.
Yeah.
The sampler platters are usually like a fucking chicken tender or chicken wing or something like
Yeah.
that. An egg roll, a fucking
onion rings,
It's all fried
yeah,
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
so
fried pickles,
Oh, I love fried
I
pickles.
do like fried pickles.
but only the slices, not
Only the
spears.
slices. See, people
yeah,
outside the South do
the
that
ratio
wrong.
of the spear
So
is
Southerners only do pickled chips. And when you go to like gastropubs and people try to be fancy, they serve you a deep fried pickle spear, which is fucking molten lava. By the time
Yeah.
by the time the inside cools down, the outside is soggy.
It'll melt your
mush.
grandchildren.
Exactly. Pickle chips. They heat up quick and cool off quick, but they don't get soggy in the process.
That's right.
But so many places do those wrong too. I don't know why we can't figure out how to make those
They
crispy
stick together.
Yeah. Where did we have them that weren't good?
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an aspirational dish. I want them because I'm hoping that they're going to be good, but they
I love
very
pickles.
rarely are.
Pickles are the shit, man.
I love pickles too.
I have like 3 jars of pickles going in my different pickles right now in my refrigerator.
I love those. What are they? Dilly bites or something like that.
What's
They're
a
like,
dilly bite?
They're like little individual
Pickles?
the snap.
I've never
little
seen those.
individual bags of them. They have hot pickles and they have regular ones, but like I'll just eat an entire.
That's
bag of them.
expensive.
No, that's
That's for a case.
for a case of them.
That's still $4 a pack.
I know. Yeah, they're definitely not
Economical.
but they're in perfect sizes.
Yeah.
and I don't have to be eating them out of a jar.
For that, I could buy
but the
6
flavor,
different
the flavor
jars
of them is
pickles.
really good. The hot ones are
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Put it. Well, anybody out there who wants to buy those for me for Christmas? Because I'm sure as fuck not paying $40 for.
I have some in my fridge.
Well, now I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Exactly. I bought you pickles and beer. I don't like beer. Okay, I'll drink the beer.
Beer's for me.
Yeah.
Ooh, they sell boxes at Costco.
Yes.
How much are they at Costco? $39.
Costco
It says that
business.
I'm looking at the red.
Costco doesn't tell you the prices of stuff, does it? Unless you're a member.
12 count.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to press the view pricing thing.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Why do they do that?
You have to put in your zip code. Fucking hell.
Well, Costco, they really want you. How much is a Costco membership these days? I don't
I
know.
think it's like $60 or something.
A year?
Only
Whoa.
$11?
That can't
Oh
be
my God.
right.
That's delivered.
Oh my
That can't be
God.
right.
Hold on. I'm
Okay.
looking up Costco on my Instacart right
So
now.
Is that right?
If we start a pickle vending machine company right now, we can get them wholesale for $11.
Holy fuck! We're gonna charge y'all $3.99 per bag of pickles.
Should we white label these and make it the
That's
DJ
less
Kelly
than
look?
$1.
I don't see them on this Costco.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do more research into that because
Do
if
your
I
own
can,
research.
if I can buy those by the case, my life has changed.
Isn't that sad?
I don't got a lot to live for. Oh yes, okay. Costco Business has them. Okay, so
Fuck yeah!
12.18.
What's Costco Business?
It's the one for business.
Where people go to like supply their restaurants and
Yeah.
shit and bars.
Or like bars and vending machines. And
Is
all
it a
that stuff.
different
It's
kind
a different
of Costco?
location. They're similar, but I think the only way that you can shop there is if you have a business. But
I have a business.
My parents have a business.
I
so
have
use theirs.
a tax ID number, a business tax ID number.
Great. Let's order a bunch of pickles from Costco.
And just sit around eating pickles. I don't have a lot of storage space in my house because it's all the other pickles that are in jars.
You've got a fridge. They're just little bags. You just throw them in
I
your
know, that's what I'm saying.
little drawer.
If I get rid of all the pickles in jars, then I'll have storage space in my fridge.
You're going to love these.
Okay,
They're
sold.
so good.
Sold.
You can eat them while you're in the car.
We should reach out and see if we can just get them to send us some.
I can't. I haven't gotten to the place where I'm eating in my car yet. I looked at the.
You can eat them in my car.
Okay, fine. I looked at. So yesterday when I went to pick up the wedding rings, or pick out the wedding rings, I was driving to Burbank and looked down at my odometer, and I've driven less than 100 miles since I've owned this car, and I drove it up from Long Beach on the first day. It had
That's 60 miles from
It
here.
had
right?
9,700. It's 35 miles. It had 9,700 miles when I picked it up, and I've not yet hit 9,800 miles.
Oh man, I forgot to look at my
And I'm on the same tank
odometer
of
because
gas.
I think I'm right at 100,000 now. I was gonna celebrate, but now
We should go down there and
yeah, when we go down there, we're gonna have.
we should go through a drive-through bar and celebrate on the way home. Isn't that
do it.
that's
Yeah.
so safe?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get outta
go
here.
to the bar.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for the after party.
I hope you're all excited that we found out that we can get these boxes of pickles at Costco.
If you get these pickles, let us know.
They're so good.
We're not being paid any endorsement fee, but if Kelly likes these pickles, we want to keep them going.
Yeah.
And if you want to send us some pickles, DM me and I'll give you an address to ship
Yeah,
them to.
send us pickles.
Yeah, send us pickles.
We love pickles.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast.
Where things will be misquoted.
And